Next on 7 News at 4.
Breaking news, a derailment on the Red Line continues to cause a mess in Boston. Smoke filling the Andrew T stop right now. Part of the track is still shut down as we head into the rush hour.
Second day in a row, temperatures at record levels, but we track much colder air and even some snow for tomorrow.
Demanding change in Florida, survivors of the mass shooting outside the state capitol to protest gun violence.
A sneaky steal inside of a Bourne restaurant. A woman caught on camera snatching money from a tip jar.
This is 7 News at 4.
And first at 4, we're following breaking news out of Boston. Train trouble on the Red Line continues after a derailment this morning. Smoke filling the Andrew station this morning after a train came off the tracks, causing some major delays.
And there was also damage done to the third rail. Commuters forced to wait in long lines to take buses between the JFK, UMass, and Broadway T stops as we look at live pictures right now. And right now, the Red Line is still closed between those two stops.
This is crews with the MBTA are investigating exactly what happened and working to get things finally back to normal. We have Team 7 coverage of this breaking story, starting with 7's Kimberly Bookman live outside Andrew Station with the very latest.
Yeah, Ryan, you know, the MBTA says they realize this is going to be an inconvenience. Go ahead and take a look at this live video from 7's helicopter, Sky 7 HD. It's over the T-stop at JFK, and you can see that passengers are getting onto shuttle buses at this hour. The MBTA is calling this a very serious situation, and they say they are not going to resume rail service until it is safe to do so.
Smoke filled the MBTA platform at Andrew Square this morning when an approaching northbound train sparked and actually derailed entering the station.
About 1,000 feet before it came into Andrew Station, there was a big flash.
Passenger John Orison was on the Red Line train and says it was clear something was wrong.
The back car bounced up in the air, and the windshield, one of the windows broke out, and then we had a couple more bounces, and then it started a fire.
As soon as the train came to a stop, riders ran to safety, some concerned the T-cars might explode.
Yeah, when we got out and looked at the platform, you could just, that acrid smell of smoke started enveloping the whole platform.
An MBTA spokesperson says the last car of the 6-car train re-railed itself, damaging 300 feet of the third rail. They took the train out of service, leaving many riders stranded at neighboring JFK Station, waiting for shuttle buses to replace the train and get them to where they needed to go.
It's just really inconvenient that we have to sit here and wait for the train, because it's always a problem with the train. Like, it's always something going on with the train, and it's just aggravating. I just want to go home.
But it's not over yet. Passengers will have to rely on shuttle buses between JFK and Broadway T stops or use the commuter rail, which is adding stops through the evening commute. Inspectors are still examining the track, the third rail, and all the train's equipment, giving few answers to the big question, why did this happen?
We were more confused, I think, than anything else. It was a little unnerving.
And back out here live at Andrew Square T-stop, you can see there are shuttle buses continuing to pick people up. People are gathering, lines are starting to form. They're going to have to use these shuttle buses until the rail service starts again. And again, we don't have an estimated time as to when that will resume. Reporting live from Dorchester, Kimberly Bookman, 7 News.
And this derailment creating a commuting nightmare for passengers. As we take a live look at the scene, 7's Alex DePrado is in our newsroom with more on the delays.
Kiki, it's been a very difficult day for Red Line riders today. Let's go live back to those pictures from Sky 7 near the JFK UMass station. Since the Andrew station filled with smoke this morning, passengers have had to rely on shuttle buses between the JFK UMass and Broadway T stops. Take a look at the long lines again right now. Crowds of people waiting, but as you can see, they're going nowhere fast. Those are some of the shuttle buses. So let's break this down for you, how bad this problem is. The Red Line service remains suspended between JFK, UMass, and Broadway. That means if you're leaving Boston on the Red Line and trying to get to the South Shore, you'll need to use a shuttle bus between Broadway and the JFK, UMass stops. You'll face the same challenge if you're heading into the city on the Red Line this evening. The commuter rail is also stepping in to help. Keolis announcing that the Kingston, Plymouth, Middleborough, and Greenbush lines will be stopping at Red Line stations to accommodate those passengers impacted. All Kingston and Middleborough line trains will stop at JFK UMass, Quincy Center, and Braintree. All inbound and outbound Greenbush line trains will stop at JFK UMass and Quincy Center. So the Greenbush line trains will not stop at Braintree, as that is on a different route. That is a lot of information. If you missed all of this, go to WHDH.com. It is our top story there on the website. We have all that same information right there. Live in the newsroom, I'm Alex DePrato, 7 News.
And more breaking news right now. An active scene in Marshfield. Police have arrested a man accused of making threats. We're told the community is not in any danger. 7's Byron Burnett is live on the phone at the police station with the breaking details.
Yeah, this took place at Surrey Road in Marshfield, the man's home. It all started when a concerned citizen came into the police station and told him that this individual, this man, was making threats against police and himself. The citizen said that he believed this person was stockpiling weapons and, their words, becoming an anarchist. Now, the police responded to the scene. They called in a SWAT team for help. They watched this man for a while today, and they say at one point the man tried to run. Police tackled him, and he was arrested. They searched his house, they searched his car, and we're told, police say that they found a loaded .22 caliber rifle and a loaded handgun in his car and 2 more guns in his house. Now, this individual is known to police. He's been arrested several times before. Most recently, time he was arrested was last week in a traffic stop. There's some speculation that perhaps maybe that might have set him off. No one was hurt during the arrest, and right now the district attorney is here at the police station meeting with officers discussing what charges will be filed. So that's the latest here in Marshfield. I'm Byron Barnett, 7 News.
7 News now turning to the forecast. New England giving the weather a warm welcome. People getting outside today in T-shirts and shorts. Ice skating, believe it or not. You know, it is February. Hard to believe. The sun's staying out all day long as we take a live look at downtown Boston. But tomorrow we could see some snow. Yes, snow as the temperatures drop. Meteorologist Chris Lambert is here with the forecast.
Nothing screams New England like going from near 80 degrees to snow within 24 hours, right? Yeah, in the city of Boston, ice skating / water skiing on top of that skating rink outside earlier this afternoon. 71 for the high, 71 in Worcester, and 80 degrees the high temperature in Fitchburg. Just unreal to see this in the month of February. In fact, just missing the monthly record in the city of Boston by a couple of degrees. Worcester, that's 71. That is the new all-time record for the month of February, and the first time being at 70, if not above it. And today and yesterday, nice and warm, back-to-back 70-degree days. First time we've done that in the city of Boston. So not quite yet reaching that all-time warmth here into the month that we set last February, but very warm indeed. There's your abrupt change. Buffalo, New York, 40 degrees. Toronto at 37 and 27 in Sudbury, Ontario. So not only is this colder air behind the front coming on through, but we're also going to track a wave of moisture that has to ride along that front, and that means late morning rain showers tomorrow, going over to a mix of some sleet and snowflakes mixed in, coating to an inch of it on non-paved surfaces. Think the roadways stay okay, but whew, what an abrupt change there to go from the 70s to near 80 today, back into the 30s by tomorrow afternoon. Cool as we head into Friday as well. One of the forecasts ahead.
Changing seasons overnight. Thank you, Chris. Well, it's been a perfect day for kids on winter break. Kids and their families were out on the Common having some fun in the sun. Our Steve Cooper is live in Boston with more on that story. Coop still got the T-shirt on, sunglasses on, check. Good.
And not only that, take a look what we're wearing under here. We're on the Frog Pond right now, and we're skating, and it's 70 degrees in the middle of February. Now, I don't know if I've scared everybody off of Frog Pond right now, but take a look. We've been out here all day long, and everybody's just finding different ways to soak up the sun. I'm not sure this was a good idea.
To the left. Take it back now, y'all.
From Spring Fever at the Mayor's Annual Children's Winter Festival on the Common, to blaring tunes and bare-chested beach volleyball at Carson Beach here in Southie.
This is very shocking. I've been living here for 7 years in Boston, and I've never witnessed weather like this in February.
We found spring skiing from the slopes at Blue Hills, seen here from Sky 7 HD, to skating at Frog Pond on Boston Common, where the skating practically turned into swimming with all the melting ice. But this was a day to soak up the sun and soak up the 70s.
How are the conditions? They're good. They're not bad. It's nice to be able to skate when it's warm.
On Newbury Street, the warm weather was a boon for business, bringing lunchtime dining outside for the first time in months. And that meant restaurants like Ruth's Bistro were happy to cash in.
We usually don't have the patio open till like March, so to have a day like today and yesterday, it's great. I mean, the people are out and they're enjoying themselves.
Days to enjoy the rays like this are no doubt a rarity, but no one seems to be complaining at the moment.
February is supposed to be the coldest month of the, the winter season, but might as well enjoy it, right?
And why not? Again, a lot of people just starting to come out here right now, holding on to the sides, but everybody's just soaking up the sun this afternoon, and why not? It's going to be open here till about 9:30 tonight, and oh boy, hold on a second. Just made it back. I should probably just say, reporting from the Boston Common. I'll try it again. Steve Cooper, 7 News. Have a good day.
All right, now to the latest in the Florida school shooting. Survivors of the massacre demanding change as they protest outside the state capitol with signs chanting for tougher gun laws. And meanwhile, in South Florida, students at neighboring schools walking out in large numbers, taking to their football fields with signs in honor of the 17 lives lost in the shooting and to protest gun violence. And here at home, dozens of students took to the streets near Fenway in support of the Florida students. This is a live look from Sunrise, Florida, where the community is coming together for a town hall tonight. And soon, President Trump will meet with students and parents to talk about school safety. 7's Dan Housley is in the newsroom with the very latest. Dan.
Well, Kiki, that listening session at the White House scheduled to get underway in just a few minutes. Many survivors of the Florida shooting, though, have already made sure their voices were heard closer to home. Survivors of the Florida shooting descended on the state's capitol today with one overarching message. It's time for action.
I'm not trying to take away your Second Amendment rights, nor am I trying to eliminate all guns, but we cannot protect our guns before we protect our children.
How many more people have to die before something changes? We will not let those 17 beautiful souls die for nothing because we are going to make a change.
Among the changes the students are asking for that Florida ban assault-style weapons like the AR-15 used in the attack in Parkland. But Florida lawmakers shut down an attempt to revive a bill that would do just that the night before.
All those in favor signify by saying yay. Yay! Opposed? No. Show the motion's not adopted.
The next death of someone with an assault rifle here in Florida is going to be on them. It's going to be on them, and it's going to be their fault.
President Trump will be listening to students and parents from Marjory Stoneman Douglas High, along with survivors of the Columbine and Sandy Hook shootings this afternoon, looking for solutions to gun violence. The vice president says President Trump plans to make school safety his #1 issue.
This president and our entire administration will continue to focus renewed energy on making our schools safe, on taking a fresh look at giving law enforcement and families the tools they need to deal with those struggling with dangerous mental illness.
Tuesday, President Trump made a surprise announcement that he was ordering his attorney general to propose regulations to outlaw bump stocks and other devices designed to make guns fire multiple shots more quickly. Later, the president tweeted, "Whether we are Republican or Democrat, we must now focus on strengthening background checks." The White House insists nothing is off the table, including the possibility of banning assault weapons or raising the minimum age to buy them. And this was also a big day for those demonstrations at Marjory Stoneman Douglas High 1 week after the shooting there. About 2,000 students, teachers, parents, and supporters held hands and chanted, "I will not be a victim," and "Never again." Live in the newsroom, Dan Housley, 7 News.
And the Parkland, Florida community saying goodbye to a man they're calling a hero, the school's athletic director, Chris Hickson. The funeral services were held for him today. Hundreds of people gathered at the South Florida National Cemetery for the service. Hickson was one of 17 killed in last week's school shooting. Officials say he had a military background and often played the role of a security guard at the school. They say he died protecting students. He leaves behind a wife and 2 sons. And you can always get the very latest on the investigation into the Florida school shooting. Download our 7 News apps or log on to WHGH.com for the latest updates.
So ahead here on the news station, a school scare in Medford. Today, we're getting a first look at the magazine found with bullets inside.
And on 7 News at 5 o'clock, the Sox new slugger showing up at spring training. The team reportedly planning to finalize his deal, the latest on the major move.
And we are following that big breaking news. Service suspended between JFK UMass and Broadway on the Red Line right now. Smoke filling Andrew Station after a train came off the tracks there this morning. Crews still working to fix that track. We'll continue to follow this story and bring you the latest as we get it here into the newsroom.